How are you guys? Welcome back to Wargaming China, the channel where I platform my understandings of the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression in China from 1931 to 1945. And I do this for wargamers, armchair generals, modelers, people who like a bit of toy soldiers in history. Now today I'm going to return to a subject that discussed quite a bit, has come up quite a bit recently in my videos, and that's 88mm guns in service in China. Now, we're looking here at my conversions of regular model kits. I think there's some Airfix World War One wheels on it. Airfix World War One horse artillery wheels. I think the carriage is from the MH German 75mm. The barrel is Pack 75 from Airfix, Pack 40 from Airfix, and the gun shield is from MH. Pretty simple to make, and the gun itself I found the gun to be quite fascinating. Now, it's a product of the Taiyuan arsenal, and the Taiyuan arsenal, it was in Shanxi province, and Shanxi province was governed by the model governor, Yan Zhaishan. Now, Yan Zhaishan took control of Shanxi province following the Republican Revolution in 1911, and one of the first things he got around to doing was improving the province, and he was so competent and good at it that he became known as the model governor. Now, by 1920, he turned his eye to the armament industry in his province. Now, there was only one facility that made arms in Shanxi province up until that point, and that was the Shanxi Machinery Bureau, and up until, say, 1920, it just produced rifles, ammunition, and machine guns. He didn't want to gain too much attention, so he renamed the factory the Shanxi Soldiers Artisan Apprentice Factory and started an expansion project. And in around about 1924, it seems that the representatives of the Shanxi Soldiers Artisans Apprentice Factory turned up at Krupp in Germany and made inquiries as to buying the 8.8 centimeter Type ZA field gun that Krupp had been producing, made components for, had a production line for, but had never actually got into service because Germany lost the war, and the production, there was never going to be any German order for the 88mm gun ZA forthcoming. So when representatives from Yan Zhaishan arrived, they made a good offer and they struck a deal with Krupp, and they took components home to assemble many guns, all the production facilities, and as well as that, 5 very well paid German advisors. Now, by 1925, the German advisors, and all the equipment and tooling had arrived, and the second expansion of the Shanxi Soldiers Artisan Apprentice Factory began. Now, by 1927, the model governor decided that he wasn't good enough with Chang, he hadn't done anything wrong, so he pushed it and he renamed it the Taiyuan Arsenal in 1927. And by 1927, the Taiyuan Arsenal was producing 500 pistols a month, 1,500 rifles, 30 medium machine guns, Thompson submachine guns in .45 ACP, and ammo for the rest. Now, as part of the second expansion, by 1929, the first Type 18s rolled out of the production sheds, rolled out to factory floors, and some sources claim up to 150 were completed, and others say only about 100. Now we must remember that the model governor didn't just buy the production line for the guns, he also bought the facilities and the production line for the ammunition. However, having got the guns into production by 1929, the model governor, just like the rest of the world, was hit by the Wall Street crash. So he had to sell a lot of his products off to pay his debts. And this is how the Type 18 ends up in Sichuan service. I had previously I'd identified the Taiyuan arsenal as the young marshals in understanding China's armies, but the last video I got it wrong. I attributed the Taiyuan arsenal to Sichuan. No, the Chengdu arsenal is Sichuan. Anyway, getting back to the Type 18. So it was a very serviceable gun, although because it wasn't in production very long, 1929 to 1931, and the reason it didn't stay in production very long is the model governor overplayed his political hand, and he joined anti-Chang forces in the Taiyuan incident, and that was the wrong thing to do. He was far too powerful and too much of a political maneuver for Chang to totally oust him for that, but Chang did put very large restriction on his armory, and the armory had to roll back production and cease productions of all heavier weapons, and from thenceforth could only make rifles, mortars and machine guns and ammunition for them. The Type 18, let's talk more about the Type 18. So it was running out of the factory floors in 1929. And I thought, well, what can we compare? What's a contemporary gun? I didn't want to compare it to any of the German 88mm guns. So I thought, 25 pounder. Now the 25 pounder's got an 87.6mm barrel. And it entered general British Army service in 1939. So it's 10 years between these guns, so I thought that could display how advanced the Type 18 was in design. So the weight of the Type 18 was 1,360 kilos, and the weight of the 25 pounder was 1,800 kilos. To traverse, which means side to side the barrel could go, for the Type 18 it was 6 degrees, and for the 25 pounder just on its wheeled carriage it was 8 degrees. Elevation, and this surprised me, the Type 18, its elevation was minus 5 degrees to positive 45 degrees, but the 25 pounder was minus 5 degrees to only positive 40 degrees. And I was surprised by that. Obviously the 25 pounder fired a much far heavier shell at 11.3 kilos, and the 25 pounder obviously fired a wide variety of shells. There are only 2 or 3 types of shell discussed for the 8.8 centimeter Type 18 field gun, and that's solid shot, high explosive, or gee, I forgot the other one. High explosive, solid shot, grape. Shrapnel, sorry. High explosive, solid shot, or shrapnel. Those are the 3 ammunition that they seem to debate. It seems that most of them say there are 2 types, but as to which types there are, those are the 3 they discuss. They argue about which ones it was. So, as a war gamer, what advice can I give you? They don't have much ammunition for them, and maybe you could dice to see what ammo you're using, like if you have an AP round, if you have a HE round, or if you have a shrapnel round. Most officers say they saw little, if any, service, but as I did a recent video on Jiangning, I'm fairly sure they were there serving with the 26th Army of Sichuan. And so, if getting back to the comparisons, the muzzle velocity surprised me because both So this fires a 9 kilo shell. The Type 18 does it 525 meters a second, and the 25 pounder fires an 11.3 kilo shell at 532 meters a second. So velocity wise, they're not bad. Range, obviously, the 25 pounder spanks it at 12.5 kilometers, and this is 10.5 kilometers for the Type 18. But you know, it is a comparable gun considering the resources that we've run into the 25 pounder and the 10-year time difference in development. So there you go. I hope that was enjoyable. As I said, there was probably maybe only 100, tops 150. They did serve with many provincial armies. They never served with the central government armies because central government armies are equipped with central government ammunition, which is why other products of the Shanxi arsenal, like the Thompson submachine gun in .45 ACP, is not a central government weapon. It's a weapon of the Shanxi arsenal. There are a few other arsenals that do the Thompson in different calibers. But you know, that's another example of the wide range of products that were made by the Taiyuan arsenal. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. I hope that explained a lot for you. Oh yeah, if these were found they would have been found in an army level, 4 per army. So if you had a Sichuan provincial army, as I said before, of 2 divisions, each division might have 4 75mm field guns in support, and then at the army level, 4 of these 88mm guns. So not many at all. And as I said, and many of the books say, it's uncertain how much combat they saw. I found some at Jiangyin, but beyond that, I don't think I'm going to find them again. Hope you enjoyed that. Press like and subscribe, because you never know when I'm going to do another video. See ya.